took this book out in 1971.
Yes, and I returned it in 1971.
Yeah, 71. That was my first year on the job. Bad year for libraries. Bad year for America. Hippies burning library cards.
Television. That weird little box that's in everyone's home and always seems to be on. It provides us with laughter, cheer, and mindless comfort. It even turns us into people we never thought we could be.
Walt, please. Let's both of us stop trying to justify this whole thing and admit you're in danger.
Who are you talking to right now? Who is it you think you see? Do you know how much I make a year? I mean, even if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work? A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ goes belly up. Disappears. It ceases to exist without me. No, you clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
What is it about Walter White? A child-murdering meth dealer we all rooted for. This is a moral conundrum. Is the thin line between fact and fiction enough to make it okay to love the bad guys? I thought, why not take this question to the public?
You want to face away or face up?
Right at the camera.
Oh.
This camera.
Oh, okay.
Okay. John Gottula, John Gottula.
My name is Paul Davidson, Paul Davidson. I had gone in for a checkup, and I had basically went in and they said you have a heart murmur, and from there I ended up having open heart surgery. They found an aneurysm that was a 5.6 with 6 being bursting. So after that, the anesthesia that I took was really, really strong, and basically I've forgotten a lot of things. But because I couldn't do anything, there were all these shows that everybody was watching that I had not watched. And so my wife, Becky, suggested Breaking Bad. And I can honestly tell you that I have watched every episode. But the interesting thing is I can't remember the first ones.
I was flipping through the channels, of course, and then here it is, Breaking Bad, and I said, well, what is this going to be about? And then I got to watching it, and it was about a guy struggling with cancer, dying. Didn't have any money, he was a school teacher. Had insurance, though, something I didn't have, and I was going, you got insurance, buddy.
I watched it on Netflix, all of it in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I started watching the second season as it premiered. Like I watched the whole first season I found on the internet, and then after that I followed it all the way through.
I'm gonna have you listen to someone, you'll put on those headphones.
Okay.
Do you know how much I make a year? I mean, even if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work? A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ goes belly up. Disappears. It ceases to exist without me. No, you clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Amazing.
So what's your reaction after being gone from, not seeing the show in a while to listening to that again?
Oh, that was
Make you feel?
definitely one of the best moments, especially between Skylar and him, and like the way she comes to the realization of what he's actually become. So and then I'm the one who knocks. I mean, I don't know how they made that up, but that was awesome.
Well, that's such a famous scene. I mean, and yeah, it just reminded me of why the show was so great. Because if you compare him then to where he was at the beginning, he's a completely different person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so this is sort of the pivotal point in the show,
Yeah.
where he goes all in as the full.
And tells his wife, basically. Yeah.
Did you still root for him after that?
Yeah, I'm afraid I did.
I rooted for him. Yeah.
And what do you think that is?
I don't know, because I feel like we all want, like,
Yes. I wanted him to succeed.
I was conflicted. At some points, I did, when he wasn't being too much of a bastard and just being the worst person ever. But I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, in a way, you kind of do, because he is the protagonist, and so you kind of want to see the protagonist like follow through with everything they're trying to achieve.
I think that the fact that he started off as a good guy and he had all of these good motives is what made people root for him the whole way through. I don't think I know a person that stopped rooting for him.
Well, Walt's a complicated character, and I don't know if I ever rooted for him, because what he was doing was definitely bad. But the point of the show, I think, is to make you understand Walt's perspective, even if you don't agree. So I wouldn't say I was rooting for him, but it was more of a, quizzicalness that I had when watching the show at this point in particular.
Why do you think it is that we root for bad people on television?
Because we can't do it in real life, I guess. Because it's not reality. We're not gonna root for somebody that shoots somebody. Just the streets will love it, which happens quite often. We're not gonna root for them. We're gonna want to know why. I don't know why we root for them on TV, but we do. I mean, we want the bad guy to win.
But finally, why don't we just ask the man himself? This is Bryan Cranston with NPR's Terry Gross.
She has no idea the evil acts that Walt has done. She doesn't know that in addition to cooking meth, that you've killed people, that you've done horrible things.
Well, horrible to one man is necessary to another.
That's right.
There you find another example in the writing that Vince was able to do, is that he went another level deeper than what you would expect. An average show would have written Walter White to be a nice guy, a sweet guy. Therefore, the audience would want to save this man. He's a nice man. But the audience wouldn't be invested in that. It would just be an automatic. He's a nice guy. But because he wrote me as this despicable character, saying awful things, it put the emotional dilemma in his central character. Do I save this man simply because he's a human being? Despite the actions of this man, he is still worth saving. So that's the germ of Breaking Bad. That was the seed.
The seed that grew to be a pop culture phenomenon. We cheered for Walt because deep down we are Walt, human, and we are worth saving.
I am the one who talks.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. And thank you, Terry. It was a delight.
We'll see if the Breaking Bad team can do it again with Better Call Saul. Starts February 8th on AMC.